Good morning. Welcome to Divinity 648. My name is Christina. I'm a high vibrational energy intuitive. This is morning messages for January the 12th, 2022. It is 12:49 in the morning. So I just finished, I'm not completely finished, but for the night I'm finished working on an appellate brief, right? An emotion and a motion to expand the file because although the lower courts tell you no new evidence can be submitted in an appellate procedure, you have the option of filing a motion to expand to include new information that wasn't previously accessible or available during the proceedings, if they are relevant to your grounds of appeal. So while I was typing it, um, I was able to pull up, you know, information, finding a lot of new things. Um, Not new things, but things I didn't notice before, right? And then I went into the kitchen and I saw this orangey golden orb fly right past me and went to the clock on my stove. And this was relevant because the stove said 12:34. And if you understand anything about channeling and communicating, you understand that knowledge and information comes through kind of like a mirrored effect, right? As above, so below. When you take a picture, it flips your image in the photo. So when you get certain communications from very high vibrational energy, that very high vibrational energy comes in flipped, it comes in backwards. So looking at that clock, seeing 12:33, um, I really saw 4:33 because the number 12 was separated with the dots, and that breaks down to a 3 if you apply numerology. So 4:33 was significant because my appellate brief is regarding, and it's 2:33 seconds into this session. My appellate brief is regarding an address that is 4:33. So it's synchronized information. And when I was digesting what was being thrown at me just now, Kuan Yin was the energy that came forward, but she came forward with another energy that I've not ever worked with before. And it's the energy of a divinity, so fitting, named Sophia. And she's about wisdom, she's about enlightenment. You know, I'm going through documents that I've had possession of, uh, but not able to really tie things together as thoroughly as I just did today. And every time I touch the legalities of this case, anytime I touch any documents, I feel and experience things on a very different type of level. Um, and I was able to find certain things. So I guess morning messages uh, isn't so much that you are dealing with Mercury retrograde and the way that it jumbles up communication. If you are keeping your vibration high, this time is the best time for working on paperwork. So go slow. I know I already said this in yesterday's morning messages, but it's still relevant. You need to go slow with everything that you're doing because instead of mixing things up and messing up with communication, contracts, and documents, you're able to have the complete opposite. You know, you're able to see in between the lines. Sophia, her energy is coming through right now as very, very, very knowledgeable, very experienced in finding facts and details, very nurturing, very like a mentor kind of energy, or a tutor, that sits you down and breaks things down and shows you all the little pieces. So I've been channeling nonstop. I don't stop anymore. I prefer not to, right? So I've been working with these lawyers and judges that my grandfather brought to me to help me with all of this stuff. And Sophia coming in today through Kuan Yin, or with Kuan Yin, was just the icing on the cake. So messages are happening now. They've been happening for like the last hour and a half. She instantly was just like, "You're on it. You got it. Don't worry about it." Um, Rewording documents with me. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And I think it's important to share morning messages with you guys, even if it doesn't make sense with you, and even if the following is minimal right now. Um, I'm just hearing it's so important to share this information with individuals because it's motivation. It's motivation to really work on your vibration, really embrace a spiritual awakening, going through this journey of ascension, and accepting your trials and karmic cycles um, as milestones in creating or unfolding into the individual that you're meant to be. So if you're guided to do something, don't challenge it. Don't think you're crazy. Just actually go for it. It's 6:48, 6 minutes and 48 seconds into this recording, and I'm calling that out because I wasn't looking in that direction until that very second. Um, so it's important for people to realize keeping your vibration high, working on your energy, doing things to cleanse, clear, and release you from external influences is so important. Um, just trust yourself. Just trust yourself. A lot of things are going to be happening during this time because we are nearing the end of Mercury retrograde. We're getting closer to the equinox energy. We are a few months into this new era, and the fact that we no longer vibrate with a third dimension. Our lowest dimension that we vibrate on is the fifth. Um, and if you can keep your vibration high and kind of keep your energy cleansed, you can have similar experiences depending on, your own energy and if you're in alignment with receiving. And I know that for me, my ancestors were the first ones to touch up on me. And when the Orishas came through, they came through first. Like I first met with an Orisha when I was very small. Um, in somebody else's home at that. It was Ilegua, which makes complete sense because Ilegua is the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers, no matter what your religious faiths are. We all have gatekeepers. No matter what religion you're in, you understand the word gatekeeper. The gatekeeper is the person who controls all paths, all doors, all portals, all crossroads, all communication. So mediums will say, "Oh, I'm working with my gatekeeper," because maybe they can't channel the person that you want to speak to. So they'll call on their gatekeeper to communicate with that person for them and relate, like the in-between person. Um, I don't uh, I don't limit myself to my own personal gatekeeper because um, my personal gatekeeper is in fact Ilegua himself or itself, because we all have feminine masculinity. Um, and then this is important because people want to communicate more now than ever, right? Now, tables have turned, coins have flipped, individuals are starting to understand whether they like it or not. They're going through an awakening. Everybody's on the fifth dimension. We've got planets that we've never seen before in our view. Like we can see them now. And pretty soon they'll be getting closer to us. And pretty soon we're going to see a lot more planets coming into rotation with us. And the overall intention intention is to send us the vibrations from those planets, which would allow us to continue to grow as a planet and ascend, right? Because just like we grow physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, the planet grows on all levels, and physically. I don't care what anybody says, this planet grows physically. And it has an aura just like we do. We call that aura the ozone layer. In the same way that the planets, right? Mercury retrograde, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, just like all of those planets affect us, right? Full moon, in Taurus, we call out, and then we say Saturn in Sagittarius or whatever, we call all those things out because it's affecting us, in the way that we function here. And it's so important to understand that those outer planets, even the ones we can't see that are very close to us, more than ever before, they're affecting our energy as well, right? They're bringing in that energy of high intellectual understandings. They're bringing in that energy of ascension. They're bringing in that energy of growth and removing the human's typical reaction to normal brain functions and replacing it by stimulating our brain functions on a different level, which means people's IQs are going to be going up. There's going to be more INFJ personality types than not. A lot more breakthroughs in technologies and sciences. And again, I've been saying this for months. We are in a new era. We are done, not so much done accumulating information, but we're done accumulating and not applying it, right? Like we've done the science to understand the power behind water. We understand that we can talk to water and kill it and instantly pray over it and bring it back to life. We understand that our bodies are 69% water. We understand that water is a conductor for energy. We understand that we are energy and everything in this world is energy, right? Quantum physics. So we are going to be applying things differently with water, right? We haven't caught up yet, but pretty soon we are. We're going to realize how powerful water is and how significant it is and how it's the only substance that it is that can die and come back to life, and change shape and form and you can boil it and turn it into steam. It turns to rain, it turns to ice, it turns to all these different things, and it always goes back to the same form. Water turns into snow. If you put snow under a microscope, there's usually never any two snowflakes that look alike. Just like our fingerprints are unique to us, the water has unique characteristics as well, and water holds memory, right? I heard on a movie, there was a line that said, blood holds memory. And my instant reaction was, no, you're fucking stupid. It's not the blood that holds the memory, it's the water within the blood that holds memory. Um, and again, we're still learning how to apply all of this stuff that we've accumulated over all of these years. So this is an era of really changing the way that the brain functions and processes information. And that change is being prompted by a planet that we will never be able to travel to. Well, we will, but just not anytime soon in these lifetimes if we keep the way that we are, of course. That's another thing I was working with. Um, oh God, which deity was it? It doesn't matter because I talk to them collectively anyway. Um, I was channeling and I was just like, how can we get there or get closer? And what they told me is that either one, have to do a couple of suicide missions, two, create spacecrafts that can self-pilot or kind of like the Tesla shit, drive itself. And it would basically have to get to a certain point and then propel or eject some type of a laser satellite thing from it and shoot that out even further than where that craft could make it. And then we would have to somehow, some way, do that again off of the other one and just keep sending satellites further out even more. Um, and that's the only way we're going to be able to get close enough to get better images of those planets. which is so relevant because those planets literally have life on it, like we, and I started laughing and I'm like, I wonder if people are going to realize that we have a planet that looks exactly like ours and can do so much for us within our sight, just as we're panicking, thinking like it's the end of the world as we know it. We always make comments like, well, where did all the other people go? How come they all disappeared? And we made up these fucking stories about, this happened and that happened. And yeah, those things may have happened, but that's not what happened to civilization. Civilization expanded, civilization ascended, civilization understood. Um, and we're going to learn that. I don't know how long it's going to take because, again, we are in a new era and things take time and we are human and experiencing things, but there's so much. I love cosmic consciousness and the ability to tap into certain things and understand things on a much broader aspect, right? Like, you'd have to be really simple minded and narrow minded to actually think we're the only habitable planet with human beings on it. We would have to really be narrow minded to actually think that we are not affected by planets and external influences out in outer space that we cannot see but can see us. We'd have to really be foolish to believe that the things we call gods, divinities, deities, saints, and angels are not the same as aliens or the same as extraterrestrials who come from other planets and so on and so forth. Um, and again, this is a new era for us, and nobody, I've only come across 1648 on the clock. I've only come across one reader on YouTube who actually, as of yesterday, posted a video. Um, was it yesterday or the day before? I'm sorry. I mentioned it. Her name is Maji, the High Priestess, and she's talking about we're in a different dimension, we're shifting, things are changing. She's all excited about this, and I'm like, girl, where the fuck have you been? Because it sucks knowing the things that I know and not being able to communicate with other individuals who understand the type of knowledge that comes through. And the fact that she could call out, yeah, I talk to freaking aliens, I talk to celestials. I was like, oh, that's my kind of people. Because those are the kind of conversations that are stimulating. Those are the kind of conversations that bring us things like Apple iPhones and, MacBooks and all that stuff, and chip technology. Where do you think all that shit comes from? You really think the human brain, the one that average individuals don't even access certain parts of, really came up with all that shit? No, it didn't. Same thing with Albert Einstein. I had a lot of questions about science because I do like science. I try not to show my nerdiness, but I do like science. And I was talking to, my soul tribe, my court, and the individuals that choose to work through me and with me. And I wanted to know about electricity. I wanted to understand why he got the idea and why he thought it was, okay to do certain things that he did and how he was able to do it. And they were just like that he didn't do that on his own. Um, and it was just amazing. It's amazing how individuals will actually be open and receptive to certain information because the average individual fears what they do not have control over. um, you can't tell the truth about where knowledge comes from, which is completely different now, right? We're in a new generation, we're in a new era, and we vibrate on a different vibration. We vibrate on a different dimension. We function in a different dimension now. So it's more it's more accepted. Like that movie Infinity. I fucking love that movie. Things like that. So morning messages really started off with Kuan Yin and Sophia and them giving me clarity and knowledge and showing me more things to support my case, that was in front of me this whole time that I could not see or did not pick up on, due to my inability to remove myself from the situation as I have since things have unfolded. You know, so morning messages basically is a lot of information is available to the average individual now. You really want to drink more water, be on that clean water flow. Start talking to your water. Watch the movie Secret Life of Water. It's got, excuse me, it's on Amazon for like $3. And it's so detailed and impeccable research. Um, and seeing is believing. So once you see it, you can't really discredit it anymore. And then you realize, like, oh shit, maybe I can heal myself. Oh shit, maybe I can do Reiki after all. Because you learn. And water, being the conductor for energy and being a living race or species that we consume and have within us is amazing. It's amazing. Water's amazing. Excuse me. So it is now 1:10 in the morning. I'm gonna upload this on YouTube later. And I'm sorry that I haven't done zodiac signs like I wanted to, like full readings, one video per sign. I've really been consumed with this court stuff because I have deadlines and obligations and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 law library books that I need to really digest and hurry up and get back to the library. And I have filings. So I've been distracted with a lot of stuff. And clients, 21:33 on the clock, which is 333, clients who have been booking, asking for in-office sessions, due to COVID, I am clear from COVID. My children are cleared from COVID, but I know that although you leave the symptom zone, the actual germ, even if it's undetected through blood work or no swabs, I understand that COVID may very well still be active within the body for an extended period of time. So I'm giving myself until January 15th to take clients in office. So I'm not seeing anyone until the 15th, which also allows us to get through the peak part of Mercury retrograde. Um, because that's when everybody's really going to need those readings, because that's when everybody's really going to be experiencing things on a different level, and arguments and breakups and endings to friendships because of the fact that Kali came through with Oya and just like painted everybody's mask gray. That way nobody could be narcissistic fucks anymore. You know, people are being exposed to who they are and how they conduct themselves more and more every single day. And the more they try to hide it, the more it's just going to be exposed in a bigger way. It's going to blow up in their face. So that's morning messages. Morning messages are before I go to bed, and it is 1:12 in the morning. And again, you want to look into the Divinity Sophia and, of course, Kuan Yin. And you want to understand how they might be affecting your life right now. Because they are. They definitely are heavily influencing at least high vibrational individuals, and the way that we perceive information, digest information, or process that information, and the way that we communicate with other individuals as well. Um, if you don't know what I'm talking about as far as tapping into the other parts of your brain that the average individual never ever in their entire lifetime accesses, drink plenty of water, do your breathing exercises, start sitting 30 minutes a day with your eyes closed. Keep radios, TVs, or allow other people to be in your space so that way you can focus and exercise your ability to control your other senses more, right? It starts off with doing selective hearing. I'll be in the living room with the TV on, and I'll shut my eyes and I'll focus on the noises coming from my son's room and what's going on in there, and I'll block everything else out. And then I'll move on to the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever else is happening, and I'll literally make myself focus to the point where I'm using selective hearing and I can block the sounds from other areas completely out and only hear certain sounds. Once you're able to master that and master listening to your intuition, you just unlock amazing things. So do the work. Don't be lazy. You know, people want to walk around saying, I'm high vibrational, I'm a light worker, I'm this, I'm that, but they don't want to sit and do the work. You know, if somebody ever walked up to me and told me they were high vibrational, I'm gonna laugh at them because number one, you don't walk around just telling people you're high vibrational. You know, you don't walk around half naked. You know, you don't go to clubs showing your body, acting like, you're a streetwalker of any kind. Being high vibrational means having a higher respect, not just for yourself, but for the energy, your ancestors, and those around you. Being an empress means you come forward with a certain mannerism, you come forward with certain morals, values, and ethics that come from ancient times, you know. If I ever left my house intentionally in a jumpsuit that revealed my entire body minus underwear. Number one, my ancestors, my grandfather, my pop, he'd be flipping on me. I mean, there's times where I leave the house with just throwing my hair back in a bun and I'm getting a lecture the whole time I'm in the car about being of a certain stature and representing myself accordingly. I keep getting those lectures of don't leave the house like you just scrubbed your toilet, even though I really did just finish bleaching my bathroom. Um, so to see people on platforms talking about being high vibrational and a light worker and a goddess and, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm just like, you might be tapping into certain energies and you might fool even me sometimes, but make no mistake, if that's who you were, that's who you are, that's where you want to be, you have a lot more respect for yourself and the way that you conduct yourself out in society. You stay silent more than you speak. And when you speak profoundly. You know, I hear people popping off about light worker this, divine feminine that, and I'm like, man, you guys don't have a fucking clue about what it means to be a divine feminine. You don't have a clue what it means to be high vibrational, working with gods and deities. You don't have a clue. You don't, because if you did, you wouldn't touch alcohol. If you smoked cannabis, you wouldn't touch anything but straight sativa, because when you touch any type of a hybrid, you will get your ass handed to you for a fact. And you understand karmic law, and you understand the power of thought, and you understand the power of correcting your energy. You don't have to be 80% naked to be sexy as fuck. You don't have to be out there showing your body and throwing yourself at the opposite sex or whoever, if you're a lesbian or gay, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't be out there doing all of that. Divine feminines do not conduct themselves that way. Divine feminines do not move on from their counterparts. Once you come into union and you try to move on, those relationships fall to shit. No matter how hard you try, they fall to shit. Divine feminines know this. Divine feminines know that you stay in your lane, you keep your fucking legs closed, and you conceal your body as much as possible. Not because you shouldn't be allowed to express yourself freely as you should in society, but because as someone of such a high energy and stature, when your energy is high and you're a divine feminine, you are that true embodiment of all gods and goddesses. That's what a divine feminine is. That's what a divine feminine is, a divinity. No joke. Like, Google some words and hip yourself to some knowledge. A divine feminine, divine masculine is a divinity. That means you have godlike abilities. And I'm not talking reading tarot. I mean like really godlike abilities where you are communicating with people physically alive without even ever opening your mouth, and they understand, they received the knowledge and the information you sent to them, and they can reciprocate it right back to you without ever saying anything back to you. It's being so in sync with the divine that you are constantly channeling, constantly getting updated information, and growing as an individual. You don't stop growing, you don't stop learning. Oh my God, you never stop learning. um Being a divine feminine or a masculine, thus being a divinity, means you understand race as something completely separate. We don't, race isn't a country. Race, nationality, none of that is relevant. It really isn't. There's four human races. You're either white skinned, yellow skinned, black skinned, or red skinned, and that's it. That's it. There's no, I'm Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, I'm Japanese. I am yellow skinned. Yeah, I'm European. I'm Italian. I have ancestry in Spain, Scandinavian, all that stuff. I'm white skinned. Yeah, I have ancestry in Africa, Cape Verde Islands. I'm black skinned. And yes, I have ancestry in Lebanon and in Egypt and in some other places that I can't even talk about yet because I've yet to complete my lessons with those ancestors and I don't want to speak on it yet. Um, and not just the bloodline ancestry, I'm talking about soul DNA, not physical DNA, but soul DNA. you know it's those people who just know they're Native American, right? Like I grew up knowing I was Native American. I had my grandmother Anna telling me I was Native American, and then I had my father telling me I was Native American, and then when my sister did the ancestry, guess what, we're Native American. And I hate the word Native American because that's not what we're called natives, right? We're called the original the originals, okay? We call ourselves indigenous and all these fucking words, but let's just sum it all up and just call it what it is. 32 minutes and 23 seconds, 55 energy, transformative energy. I call it out because it's in my face, it's being brought to my attention. So, back to what I was saying, being a divinity, being a divine feminine, divine masculine, you conduct yourself very differently and it shows. And you are a natural magnet for karmic lessons. And you have free will, but only to a certain degree, right? Because if you agree to participate in a karmic cycle or a karmic lesson, you do not have free will in that situation. You will say and do what you need to say and do as you need to say and do it. 3311. And you will listen and trust and follow your intuition, or you will have major transformative situations unfold before you until you are back in alignment with what you need to be doing. Um, Divine feminines, divine masculines understand the morals and values that come from Mayat. Those are principles that are embedded in your soul's DNA that you cannot escape. You can't. And when you disrespect or disobey those principles, you instantly feel, see, experience karmic energy, to whatever degree is relevant to whatever unfolded. You start changing as an individual when you are activated, like when your DNA gets activated, when you realize who you are. You know, you don't look at things the way that the average individual looks at things, and your knowledge supersedes anything that is around you. Um, you hand me a pile of evidence and you hand somebody else a pile of evidence, and my findings are going to be more thorough and detailed than theirs. And it's not because I have any experience in it, it's because I'm intuitively guided to find whatever it is that I'm looking at, right? I go into a new company, I start learning, I start training. And I can pick up things faster than the person who's been doing it for the last year and a half. And you are a magnet for people who are toxic. You are a magnet for narcissistic people because you automatically embody the energy of a Heyoka empath, regardless of your race. And you mirror because your energy is so pure that you radiate just like the sun radiates. You radiate an energy, and people will see in you the things that they want to embody, or they will see in you the things that they love the most in life and want in their life, depending on their vibration and where they are at, right? And if you are surrounded by people who are not doing the work, they're going to hate on you. They're going to come for you. They're going to try to attack you. They're going to do fucked up things to you. And again, that's where the divine comes in. The divine does not leave divinities on their own, not at all. And you are going to see things like orbs with your naked eye. You don't need lenses. I haven't picked up a camera to scan my apartment for orbs in a very long time. I don't have to. I see them with the naked eye. I just went into the kitchen, which prompted morning messages, to get a bottle of water, and the orange orb whipped right past me and went straight to the clock, you know. And again, it was 12:34, which reversed is 4:33, which is the address to the property being discussed in the court case that I just stopped working on for the rest of the night, well, now morning. And again, I'm just reiterating morning messages. You want to learn about Sophia. She's a divinity, a divine feminine. And you want to learn more about Kuan Yin and see how their energy is affecting you, because they are in play dominantly with all divinities, with all divine feminines and masculines and high vibrational individuals, which would be a divine feminine or a masculine, because you don't get to be high vibrational if you are not a divine feminine or masculine. You are not capable of reaching certain points. You can get high energy, but you won't be where you need to be if you're not in that category. So, plenty of water, focus on your breathing, close your eyes, shut off the physical realm, and allow your other senses to kick in, because the eyes are it's your way through the physical realm, right? Your ears, your eyes, physical realm. When you shut off the eyes, you focus in on everything that's not physical too, right? You start thinking about what you can feel. I love doing shit like that too. Like uh I'll sit there with my eyes closed and I'll sniff certain essential oils, and I can feel how it affects my body, right? I was able to refresh and recharge and reset all of my reflexes throughout my entire body. I was just from sniffing essential oils. Um, Able to heal myself from colds faster, like, I mean, boom, 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 faster than I should, just from breathing in essential oils and focusing on my breathing and talking to the water that's in my body and telling it what I need it to do. Hello, watch the documentary. Morning messages is you really are in a new era, and you really do vibrate on the fifth dimension, and the average individual is psychic at the bare minimum. Being psychic is no longer extraordinary. It's not extraordinary, excuse me. I'm trying to get the words as it's coming through. It's actually going to be the average thing, whereas if you're not psychic, it's kind of like, well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Versus if you're psychic, what's wrong with you, and we should probably burn you at a stake. So again, you want to really, you just really want to learn about Sophia and Kuan Yin, and um, focus on expanding your knowledge in any way that you can. And remember, divine feminines and divine masculines, when they're in union, you learn from each other, you grow with one another, which is why it's so important for me to be involved with someone who can teach me, you know, who's very knowledgeable in things that I'm not. And even when I learn what they learn, um, I'm always going to be trying to learn more, right? Because I understand growth never stops, period. And people change and grow all the time. And your partner knows to grow and change with you, to stay in alignment with you. You know, being a divine feminine, being a divine masculine means you understand that you're not stuck in union with your counterpart if your counterpart isn't doing the work. Because there's a lot of divine feminines and masculines out there who don't do the work and have counterparts who are doing the work and are ready for union on a different level. Um, and you can 100% be with another divine being and not receive karmic and hardships as long as your person's not doing the work. But if your person's doing the work and you try to step out of alignment, you're going to get your ass handed to you. So grow, change, prosper, advance yourself. Don't just accumulate knowledge, but, apply it. Don't be narrow minded. Expand your consciousness, right? And don't act like something that you're not. Because if you're low vibrational, dealing with shit that's very toxic, you're not trying to remove it, like a fallen angel. You lose that alignment. You're not in alignment. Like when your tires are not in alignment, they go bald in certain areas before the rest of them. Excuse me. That's exactly what happens. Your chakras get messed up, your energy gets messed up. It's like those waves from Yamoja. You're either riding that wave, right? Learning, growing, expanding, getting non-stop messages, synchronized events, and help from the universe, or you're getting hit with those waves where you're being forced to separate yourself from individuals who are toxic, or people are separating from you because, well, no, you're separating from individuals that don't belong in your space, right? You're going through tower card moments, transformative situations, separations, whatever it takes to get people out of your life who are holding you back. Because when you surround yourself with toxicity, your vibration is tainted. You are who you hang out with, right? Think of the color wheel. Or you are getting sucked under with the undertow. And that's that low vibrational toxic energy where everything's going wrong and people are trying to fuck you over 24/7, but you're not prevailing. You're actually doing fucked up things that are allowing them to mess with you. 4:33 again, 43 minutes, 03 seconds. Um, I'm going to end this now, and tomorrow I will upload it to YouTube. But these are morning messages, and you've got Kuan Yin and Sophia really coming through for people right now. So do the work, pay attention, let them help you, let them guide you. Understand that, man, you're going to get exposed. Keep lying about who you are and all that otherness, and you will get exposed. The divine isn't taking nobody's shit anymore, and those who keep playing with witchcraft, stop while you can, because the equinox energy is in March. And if you don't get your karmic rewards beforehand, you better know equinox energy is going to put you on your ass. Fucking undertow. You're going to get dragged all the way out into the middle of the ocean and nobody's ever going to find you. Like, no joke. The energy is very powerful. So do the work, cut the cords, call back your power, heal your energy, drink lots of water, avoid alcohol if you can. If you do drink alcohol, just put yourself in white light. You can go to my YouTube playlist on under Divinity 648. There's 12D shielding. Watch it. It's a visual tool and a guided meditation to show you how to put yourself in real protective energy. 12th dimension platinum shield energy is very, very powerful. And you don't just do it to yourself, you do it to your kids, you do it to the people you love, you do it to your possessions, your home, to protect yourself. And of course, if you're the one being an aggressor and you throw yourself in 12D energy, don't be surprised if you are rejected from that type of protection. You are not going to be protected from karmic returns through 12D shielding, because the karmic energy is in your energy, which is inside that 12D shield, just so you know. So, excuse me. My throat chakra is popping. I need to go to bed. So good night. Well, good morning. And I hope you got something out of morning messages today. Go check out Maji, the High Priestess. Her videos are pretty on point, freakishly on point. It's actually refreshing. And just grow, change, ascend. To book a session with me, please visit divinity648.com. You can go to the book now, see all of the different services and what they entail and the price and the duration, and you can schedule. Or you can text or call me directly, 508-542-5348. Again, 508-542-5348. And I will schedule you.